I'm echoing a little bit.
I'll turn it down. Are you still echoing?
Am I still echoing? No, I am not. All right. What is good, guys, gals, gents, everything in between? It is the Eurosteppin podcast. It's your boy Don, back here with my co-host K Dot, aka K Brown, aka K Deezy. How you feeling, my guy?
I think that's more names I've ever been called.
Yes, I just made all those up on the spot. Besides K Dot, I've been calling you K Dot forever, but
But the conversation we had before this starting has put me in a bad mood.
would you like to enlighten everyone on our
We'll talk about
conversation?
it during the podcast. Football's just not going well.
Oh man, yeah, I know. You've been having a tough year, bro. You've been having a
Yeah,
rough year football wise.
yeah.
Um, all right, man. Let's just go ahead and get started on it. We are going to open up with probably my favorite sport of the season so far. Um, we're gonna open up with some college football.
Definitely the most exciting.
Yes, definitely the most exciting. I have something I need to say. I need to get off my chest, because I heard this news and this is really irking me. Yes, I said irking, but I'm talking to you, Cameron Rising. I swear to God, if you come back for a ninth fucking season of college football, oh my God, bro. You are a 27-year-old man at this point. You need to go get a real job. If you do not know, let me go ahead and update you guys. Utah's star quarterback coming into the season, Cam Rising. He went down with multiple injuries this season. His first injury was a thumb injury, and then he had a bad leg injury. I think it was an ACL or MCL, something like that. Anyways, this is his 8th season of college football. And there is a rumor that he might be able to use a medical red shirt, which, if you don't know what a red shirt is, that means you get another season to play. He might use his medical red shirt for a ninth season of college football, and that bothers me. Yeah, I just needed to go ahead and get that off. Kevin, how do you feel about this, bro?
I mean, bones made of glass. I don't know what else there is to add. He gets hurt anytime he gets hit, it appears. And he's getting hit frequently. Um, yeah, I'd just say you got to move on. But what does he move on to? It's not like there's a next level for him unless he wanted to play in like an XFL Arena Football League, maybe Canadian Football League.
He needs to get a
Um,
job, a real
well,
job.
he has a job.
No,
Quarterbacks be making so much.
bro. Oh my God.
Let me look up what his NIL like thing is.
Bro, listen, I am all for getting a second chance due to your injuries and stuff like that, but at some point, there has to be an end. You should not be able. 8 seasons of college football is already crazy. The fact that you might have the possibility to play a ninth season of college football, what the hell are we doing?
So Cam Rising, his NIL deals for this year alone are expected to be at the least 500,000, at the most 1.5 million.
And you know what? He can go sign a CFL contract. He can go sign a UFL contract, XFL, whatever the fucking league is at this point. He can go play pro somewhere else that is not the NFL, because no one in the NFL is going to be calling for a 26, 27-year-old quarterback. At this point, it's just like that one guy who cannot let high school go, because high school was his glory years. He just cannot let being a college quarterback go at this point, and he needs to just move on either to pros somewhere, or he just needs to go get a real job. I am sorry, but this is just crazy to me. This is crazy to me. Good news is though, Utah's coach basically answered a question about him coming back, and basically said that they aren't bringing back Cam next year. So where would he play next year? I'm not sure. Probably a smaller, struggling school that really could use a quarterback. But yeah, I don't know. I just found this whole situation interesting. It really bothers me, to be honest.
Yeah. It, it's something like you're going to see this more and more because once again these people are making money now in college, so it's not like there's a rush fully to get to the NFL. Definitely for someone like Cam Rising who's never really had a big NFL stock. Like maybe if he left last season, he could have gotten something with how good of a season he had, but decided to come back for another year. Um, yeah, it's definitely an interesting phenomenon happening right now.
In my opinion, I think Cam Rising and that Chris McCormick guy are going to be the last ones of it, just because COVID years. I think those COVID years really sort of messed up everything too. Because I do know there was like COVID red shirts, I think, and people were able to play a little bit longer or something like
Yeah,
that. Like, so hopefully we will see an end to this. I'm personally tired of seeing like a 28-year-old just be on a college football field, go be a damn adult somewhere
over
else.
exaggerating. Buddy's only 25.
I don't give a fuck, bro. Cam is 1 year younger than me. Give it up.
Give it up.
But yes, that is my rant. I came out hot out the gates. I am sorry. I might have scared some people away, but I just needed to say that because that's it just bothers me, bro. It just bothers me.
Mm.
But let's go ahead and give a quick update from last week's rankings. At this point, we are recording Saturday night. Most games have been played. Um, we do have some shakeups in the top 25 that I am going to read off to you guys. So your top 25, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's basically been pretty strong. I can note that Penn State did lose to Ohio State. Penn State did come in this week as the number 3 ranked team. I'm not sure how far that really drops them down, but
Probably 5 or 6.
yeah, probably. I would say so too, just because it was a 3 point loss, quality loss. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Lost
like,
in the last second. They just couldn't make the pass.
yeah, it wasn't like they got embarrassed or anything. So Penn State falls down a little bit. Ohio State might take that number 3 spot. I mean, it would just make sense at this point. Unless you weigh Miami a little bit higher than Ohio State, it just
I feel
depends
like
who you
they
ask.
could jump Georgia with how much struggle Carson Beck had today
Um,
against the Gators.
I do agree personally. Me and you have definitely agreed that we aren't the biggest Carson Beck fans. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know he's gonna make it to the next level. I'm just personally not the biggest fan of his game. But that could be a possibility. Georgia has looked strong this year, but not as strong as I think everyone has expected them to be. Same thing you can say for schools like Alabama, Michigan. There's just a couple powerhouses that just have not been as strong as they have been recently. Um, Let me see. Iowa State came in this week ranked to number 11. They did lose to Texas Tech, not Texas A&M, but unranked Texas Tech. Um,
Yeah.
Not sure how far that's going to drop them. Like I said, the rankings are a little bit wonky. You never know with how everything's going to be rated, especially with the college football. Excuse me, with the college football rankings coming out. I think next week or this week coming around this time, it's about that time for us to start seeing who's potentially in what spot and what seed. Um,
Yeah, I think college football rankings might come out next week.
okay, that's good. I'm very excited for that. Any sleepers who you think might take that 12th? I don't know if you would call it a group of 5 spot at this
I
point.
mean, it still has to be Boise State as that like number 5 like conference that wins it. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
I agree as well. I agree. They've really been the only group of 5 school that's not Army or Navy. That's really been making noise, I'd say, as well.
yeah.
Um, Let me see what else we got.
Um,
How do you
so
think?
big,
Go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say a big loss for the state of South Carolina today. Both, or a big loss and a big win for state of South Carolina. Louisville, beat Clemson today, number 11 ranked Clemson. And then South Carolina, unranked, beat number 10 Texas A&M.
They are
So a
going
lot of
crazy.
movement in South Carolina today.
I would just
It's
say in
really-
Carolinas because UNC actually looked good today.
Oh, they were
That's a,
playing Florida State. Of course they were.
yeah, but I'm just saying, bro. UNC needed that. They definitely needed that. They have not been having a good season, in my opinion. So that's
I
just a
only talk
boost for
about
them.
relevant teams.
I agree. I agree. Let's go Longhorns.
Longhorns.
But yeah, interesting week. I'm very excited to see how the college football playoffs shake out. Tons of upsets. Going to be a lot of movement. SMU is going BTA, aka belt to ass, against Pittsburgh right now, 48-11. Um, it, I mean, it's 18 versus 20, but that's still a shakeup. So we are gonna see a lot of movement within that top 25, and we're gonna see how this shakes out. Um, Now I had a little funny question. Who do you think is gonna have the better season next year between the two? Well, okay, two out of the three Florida schools. Do you think Florida State or the Florida Gators are gonna have a better season
I
going into
think
next
the
year?
only option is the Florida Gators. I mean, if DJ Lagway stays, if Aiden Mizell stays, if Elijah Badger, Trey Wilson, all of them have the ability to come back next year. That's a dangerous quarterback and dangerous receivers to be throwing to for the Gators. I feel like what's your bright side for Florida State? Brock Glenn, the guy they've been throwing out now, like you're still losing to these schools with just no show. Meanwhile, today, DJ Lagway, until he got hurt, the Gators were beating Georgia. A lot of that is in the favor of the defense just playing really well and getting a really lucky throw with Aiden Mizell for the touchdown, but it's still like it plays an effect. The second he leaves the game, we go from having a um, positive like win chance to the second he's gone, all goes downhill and we lose by 14.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's looking rough for those two schools. It's really rare to see them be down for so long. I feel like, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Especially
FSU wasn't down last year. They
well,
got went 13-0.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I'm gonna say this song because I personally feel like I have not been like I don't have any memories of an FSU season being this bad. Honestly, like I can't.
Yeah, you weren't there then.
Yeah, like I can't tell you the last time I've seen FSU look this horrible. They've always been at least mid at best, but
It's
this
right
bad.
after the Jameis Winston days they went down.
I sort of agree. Famous Jameis took too much swagger with him to the NFL, bro.
Yeah,
He took too much swagger with him because that school has
too
not
much
been the same.
swagger, too much grab leg.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh, Jameis. Oh, Jameis. Shout out Jameis Winston. He is the funniest player in all of sports. I don't care what anyone has to say. Shout out Jameis
He's
Winston.
gotta be.
Let's go out here and eat this dub.
But would you like to talk about like who we think about like the championship favorites along with or would you rather talk about Heisman first?
We could do championship favorites since we're still currently on here. Um,
Yeah.
so do you want to do top three again, or do you just have a straight up dog who you think is gonna take it at this point?
I have like a top two and then a one like surprise like thing like someone people wouldn't think, which usually K-State's been in that spot, but K-State just fucking lost, so they're no longer in that spot.
Yeah, K State, I feel like had a lot of expectations on them this season, and it's not like they've had a bad season, but they've been losing questionable games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they lost to Houston today. I mean, Avery Johnson's a sophomore. We'll see if he stays at K-State next year. If he does, he'll just be even better next season than he is currently. That's
I think he
usually
should.
how progression and aging works. Um, but we'll see if he decides to stay or, hey, Alabama has an opening. Ohio State's gonna have an opening. A bunch of schools are gonna have these openings. Uh, just does he stay there? We'll see.
Valid, valid. All right, let me go ahead and see who you got for your playoff picks. I'm actually curious on that.
So my number one school has changed. Um, it was Texas A&M, but they lost. Um, so now I have Ohio State
Interesting.
as my number one. I think their win over Penn State is going to be a lot. Um, they lost to Oregon, but that was at Oregon, and they only lost by 1 point. And that just makes me feel if there's like a neutral site game, I feel like Ohio State could pull it out. And I feel like that's where the they would be playing is on a neutral site in the playoffs. So I just feel like overall Ohio State's a better team. Will Howard has to make some better decisions um, at times because that is why they lost the Oregon game. But he's still growing and hasn't made those mistakes since then. Um, it's just a really good overall offense, defense that can pass, they can run, they can do whatever they need to do to get the ball in the end zone, along with stopping the other team from getting in the end zone.
Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. Um, I think for my three, I'm gonna go personally. Uh, okay, I have three schools I feel like that are just. I feel like they could take it. They have strong cases too, and then I have one school that's just sort of gonna throw everything off.
Who's your main one?
Okay, my main school is I'm still horns up. I'm still rocking with Texas. I just like Texas's roster. I like the depth. Yes, they looked horrible. And I think it was their last game. I forgot which game it was. It was pretty recent. They looked horrible against Georgia. Everyone just looked frazzled out there. Um,
Yeah.
but I do think if they can finish out strong against Florida, Arkansas, uh, Kentucky, and Texas A&M, I feel like that's a pretty favorable schedule for them to help build up confidence going into the playoff situation. So that's who I got going as like my main favorite. Um, and then probably my second place team is I don't really like putting this team in big games just due to their past, but I'm going to put Oregon as my second school.
Mhm.
I feel like they've been good this season, dominant this season for the most part. Their closest game was Ohio State, and that was a 1 point game. So Ohio State, as you said, is a really good pick. And they also beat Michigan today. So, but I don't know. I just feel like if Oregon's gonna do something, this could be the season for them to actually do it. But like I said, I feel like they just don't show up in big games. But we'll see how that goes.
My second ranked team is Tennessee. Personally, I still am high on the Nico Dylan Sampson train, mostly on just the Heupel offense and everything, how widespread it is. Um, this in 2 weeks is going to be their biggest challenge of the season, going at Georgia. And that'll really just decide is Tennessee that team or are they still just is every SEC team under Georgia's shadow? Um, I think that's the game that will really decide like who is the big dog in the SEC. Um, I think Texas is good. I don't feel like they're SEC built yet. And by that, I just mean obviously coming from the Big 12, their defense isn't as up to par as most SEC teams would be. Um, I think in a couple of years, Texas will be at that level. I just don't believe they're there right now, currently.
That's fair. That's fair. As my third pick, I did actually have Tennessee in there. Like you said, Nico is having a decent season, but what I'm really high on is that boy Dylan Sampson. Correct, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog. I think he's personally probably the second best running back this season behind behind Genty, but that's sort of, Genty's chasing a record, so I can't fault him for that. But Samson, he's only a junior. Every time I watch him play, bro, he's just been a dog. So I really like their run game. I like how Tennessee's been playing and just being dominant this season. So I like what they got going on as well. And then my sleeper team. Let's go Cougs, man. BYU has been surviving in this very chaotic Big 12. They've had quality wins, I would say. Undefeated still. And I feel like they could be a sleeper team. Just because no one really expects BYU to be this good. I feel like they could definitely uppercut some people in the mouth and probably make it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. My sleeper team has changed. Once again, it was K-State. I mean, the coach said it himself, Google me. All I do is win. And that's what Indiana has been doing. Indiana just currently 9-0. They beat Michigan they beat Michigan State today. But yeah, they're 9-0, 6-0 in conference. Right now, them and Oregon are the only teams undefeated in the Big Ten. Next week they play Michigan in Indiana, and then their big test is going to be at Ohio State the week after that. It hurts to say as a Purdue fan, having spent a lot of money going to Purdue, to say Indiana is like title contender and everything while we are at the bottom of college football right now. But Curtis Rourke, Justice Ellison have been moving that offense really well. And then Kurt, I think it's Signotti is their head coach. It's Kurt something. I think it's Signetti. Their defense, like under Kurt Signetti, has been absolutely phenomenal. Currently, points for, they're second in the country. Points against, they're seventh. And yeah, you can say they haven't played the strongest of schools, maybe played the weaker parts of the Big Ten. But even with that weaker parts of the Big Ten, that includes a Maryland team and holding them to 28 points while scoring 42 on them. That includes going to UCLA, winning 42-13, going or having Nebraska at home, winning 56-7. The very next week, having Washington at home, winning 31-17. Michigan State, I don't think is worth mentioning. I don't think they're a good team. But like they're able to just week after week come in and blow you out. Both through the air, scoring, rushing it, and absolutely stopping you with their defense.
No, I'm sorry. I was mid saltine. No, but I agree. It's just been a great season. A lot of teams. I'm genuinely surprised to hear you say it in Indiana, because I know that definitely pains you. Yeah, I know that is pain to say. But shout out Indiana, man. I think if any team has taken the world by storm, it has to be Indiana. Who in the world expected them to be a undefeated ranked team at this point in the season?
Me.
I don't think anyone did, besides maybe diehard Indiana fans. But even they had to fucking lie and be like, "We got this, guys." Like,
I know Kurt was right. You Google him, you see his reputation. I mean, he brought James Madison to their first years into FBS Division I football, and dominated as James Madison. The only reason he doesn't have any title or conference titles to his name while at James Madison is there is a rule. I don't know if you know about it, but once you move up to FBS, Division I and everything like that from the Division II, you're not able to compete in conference, or I believe including bowl games as well.
It is bowl games. Yeah, because James Madison, that's their big headline, how they got robbed after their first FBS season and how great they did. They should at least been
amazing the first 2 seasons. Hunter's hurt.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this. We have some Big 12 after dark action, and Baylor's kicker just hit a game-winning field goal, and they are going crazy in front of the TCU sidelines. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry. I just had to mention that. Shout out Baylor. Baylor. But anyways, so I have some opinion questions for you.
Yeah.
I don't have anything too crazy about college football left for you. I just want to know, Genty or Hunter, who is your Heisman, or is there a third option? Neither. Okay. Who is your Heisman?
Cameron Ward.
And elaborate as to why Mr. Western Kentucky himself is your Heisman winner.
I mean, the remaining games he has are Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse.
Ouch.
That's weak as hell.
Ouch.
I just, it's why Miami is undefeated. Had such a weak schedule this season. I don't think any team that they've played against has been ranked. Whenever they've played them. So it's just like, yeah, they're going undefeated and everything like this, but they're not playing good schools. I want to actually see if any of the schools that they've played this season are currently with a winning record. I don't believe so.
Duke. They just played Duke today, beat them. They're a 6-3 school. Let me see. Louisville is a 5-2. Yeah.
I think they're
Virginia Tech, I feel like, has to have a winning record, right? No. Actually, I'm not sure.
5-4.
5-4. Okay, 5-4.
But still, these are teams that are unranked.
I agreed.
Teams that you should lose to. I'm very interested to see once he gets to the ACC conference game, like, who's he gonna face? Like, Clemson just lost. Was it an ACC game?
Yeah.
Clemson lost.
Louisville's in ACC, so yes.
Yeah. So right now, they might even escape by playing an SMU or Pittsburgh in the ACC conference game, and it's just baffling. Like, I just can't imagine it not going in Cam Ward's favor. Just the teams he has to play against, the stats that he has. I just think everything's in his favor to win it. I feel like it's his award to win. I know these past few weeks we've been talking about Ashton Jonty, but he's been slowing down, not in terms of yards, but in terms of touchdowns. And I think you need those touchdowns to win it as a running back. I just think it's Cam Ward's award to lose. Betting odds agree. Cam Ward is currently the favorite on FanDuel by a pretty decent margin. Second would be Travis Hunter. But I think it's Cam Ward's award.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that at all. Cam Ward is definitely a guy that's been having a great season. Definitely deserve his praise and credit. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of checking on Ashton Genty. I wanted to see how close he is and how many games he has left. All right, so he has 4 games left to try to get this record. I don't know. In my opinion, while I do agree with your Cam Ward pick, I'm standing strong on this Ashton Genty hype train. And I believe I don't know if he's gonna get the record. I don't.
I think he's off pace.
Yeah, he got knocked off pace because he would have to get 1,000 yards within these next 4 games, and I just don't see that happening. And he's off pace for touchdowns too. Damn. That sucks. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm still going Genty. Genty's probably my favorite player to watch. I think he's had a great year. Second place, I would put Travis Hunter, but it's a very close second place. I feel like it could go either way, to be honest. But yeah, I agree. Cam Ward could take it. His schedule is pretty easy. unless he just drastically just flops, I don't see how he really messes up this perfect season they have going on. But back to your ACC conference thing. If they do have to play SMU or Pitt, I do think SMU gives them more of a run for their money compared to Pitt. As SMU is currently beating
And
Pitt.
SMU's beating Pitt's ass right now.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. The Mustangs have had a good season. I don't know. I just feel like they are the school to give Miami problems if they're gonna have problems. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean SMU really good attack through the air with Kevin Jennings, and then Brashard Smith has been good on the ground. Um, it's a good team. It's just still like whenever you're thinking about the like college football playoffs and everything like that, you're going to have to play against an Oregon. You're going to have to play against an Ohio State. In schools like that, it's just I feel like it's going to be a big wake up call whenever they haven't faced schools of that caliber or even close.
Agreed.
And I just don't know how that's going to look. And in my opinion, once again, I'd like to see every athlete and everything do great, be great. But my personal opinion is I just don't see that ending well for them.
I agree because like I think it was last week I made my case with Miami about ref ball has bailed them out a couple times this season. In my opinion, they could this could easily be a 6-2 team, or I'm sorry, a 7. Technically an 8-2 team at this point, or am I wrong on that?
Who are we talking about?
Miami. Let me see.
Have they almost lost games?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh yeah,
6,
they have. They
7,
had
8.
Cal as a close
No,
one.
and they should have lost at Cal, and they should have lost at Virginia Tech. That should have been back-to-back losses.
No, and then even Louisville, it could have been 3 straight. Louisville was a 7-point game.
Exactly. So like while I agree with your topic on Cam Ward, Miami as a whole, I agree. I feel like they're gonna be in for a wake up call. We're gonna see if they can rise to the challenge, but like you said, their strength of schedule is sort of questionable. And once you get towards the Oregons, the Ohio States of the world, it's y'all are gonna have to show out. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean their biggest test, the remainder of this year is going at Syracuse. We'll see how it ends up, but I just can't personally see how it goes against Miami. Yeah.
All right, and then my last question on the college football topic: do you think Coach Prime stays for the long term, or do you think he's out once his boys are out?
I think he stays another year.
I agree.
At least another year.
I agree. I feel like he's done too much work in bringing in a lot of talent to just sort of let this group of guys just walk away. I feel like he's sort of better than that. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like the only thing that could happen is obviously Florida State's doing really bad. If Mike Norvell gets fired,
that'd be
his
interesting.
alma mater has an open coaching position, and he's performed well at a very bad school. He started off with Colorado State. I think they were winless the year before, or only had 1 win the season before.
They had 2
and
wins.
Brought them to a 4-win team, and now this year they're in the positives still, I believe.
Yeah, they're like
loss.
They're like a 6-2 team. They're actually having a great season.
People want to talk about Coach Prime like he's not a good coach. Completely turned around that organization in just 3 years, and still not even done with this 3rd year, and has already
this is actually his 2nd year. Remember, he went to Jackson State.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I'm saying like the 3 years, including that like 1 in like 11 year or whatever.
Okay.
But no, he has been there for 2 years.
Okay, right. Okay. No, I see what you're saying now. My fault. I get what you're saying. You're talking about the whole damn school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think he stays. I think he's too proud of what he's built to let it go.
Mm.
But that's just my opinion. That's all I got for college football. Unless you got something.
Um, no. The only thing I would add to the Coach Prime thing is once again Florida State job could be open. Um, and then just looking at other schools like Oklahoma's underperformed. Maybe they move on. It'll just be hard. I feel like for um Dion to not want to go to a bigger school makes it easier for recruiting, makes his life easier. Um, in total. Um, yeah, and I mean surprises can happen too. I want to talk about real quick. Penn State, even though they're performing as well as they have, a big rival they've have is Ohio State. James Franklin, as amazing of a coach as he is, in their 12 appearances he's played against Ohio State, he is 1-11. Um, in those 12 games, they have had the lead 7 times. Um, and 3 of those losses as well come whenever they had a double-digit lead at one point in that game. Um, and as shocking as it could be, schools are willing to get rid of people if you can't win your big games. And that's the biggest of their games every single season, and he has not gotten it done. Um, if a job like that opens, I just don't see how you can decline it if it's offered to you.
I- In my opinion, Penn State, ever since I was a kid, has always been frauds. So I'm not really surprised. Um, I don't know. I've just never cared for them. Anytime I've watched them in a big game in my lifetime, I feel like they just can never come through. Um, I, I don't know. It's James Franklin's definitely in the hot seat for rivalry reasons more than record reasons. So we'll see
Yeah, no, James
how that
Franklin,
goes.
I think, is a great coach. It's just, once again, if you can't get it done against your rivals, your fans remember those rivalry games. They don't remember you blowing out Kent State. They don't give a shit about that. They want to see, can you beat Ohio State?
Right.
Want to see, and I believe he's struggled against Michigan, before. He hasn't played Michigan this year, actually, but I was going to say before Michigan decided to absolutely shit the bed. But once again, they lost their head coach in Harbaugh, who's an NFL caliber coach. Um, but yeah, I think Penn State, if they're really sick of losing to Big Brother at this point, Ohio State, they could do a shocking coach change.
We'll see. I feel like that's a very interesting subject. I wouldn't be surprised because coaches' jobs are sort of like fast food jobs at this point. There's like a
Yeah.
new coach every week, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll let you take it away to the next topic, just because I think I know where you're going with this, and I don't have too much to say. So this is the Kevin section.
Yeah. NFL. Wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm talking
Okay.
about the NFL next.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Never mind. Go ahead.
So going football to football.
Okay, football to
Um,
football.
I'll say it. We may have been wrong. Um,
Elaborate.
Last week we bashed the Devonte Adams trade. Um, we bashed Aaron Rodgers. Me specifically. I am a Bears fan. Um, I reserve that right. Um, Aaron Rodgers apparently is drinking from the fountain of youth, as he says. I don't know if you saw this at all, but his kicker has actually shown him drinking cayenne pepper and water will
What?
be your fountain of youth. Right after he starts doing that, apparently, throws for 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. Um, at least it's not insane drugs like taking ayahuasca, or mushroom trips in the forest like he has in the past. It's a lot more mellow. Maybe these ones don't make him see the Hat Man at night or on the field. But he played absolutely great against the Texans, and his leading receiver, obviously you can say Garrett Wilson, he had 2 touchdowns, but yards wise, Devontae Adams had 1 more yard, 91 yards, a touchdown. The only thing I will mention about this game, he only truly threw to those 2 players. The next highest on, or Devontae got 11 targets, Garrett Wilson got 10 targets. The next highest on that list is Brees Hall with 4. So he kind of only threw to 2 guys all game long, but it ended up being the only 2 guys he needed. Definitely whenever Garrett Wilson can make Michael Jordan catches. I don't know if you saw that catch. It's
Oh yeah, I
absolutely
did.
amazing. I recommend seeing it.
Oh, I did for sure.
But yeah, we were wrong in terms of last week. We were wrong. But once again, how long can cayenne pepper last?
The fact that you just said cayenne pepper and water, it is disgusting.
Bro,
Um,
it's the fountain of youth.
okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say to this. I don't know what to say about cayenne pepper and water. Besides, I still have no faith in those New York Jets. I still think they're going to be trash. I think that's just a one game showing. But I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about your Chicago Bears, bro.
Oh, you suck.
What are y'all doing, bro?
Hey, it was a good comeback. I will say it was a good comeback. We typically have a great defense. In the league, we're fourth for points against per game. I feel like we're at a good point in the season that these statistics do matter and they're not just due to small sample size. I feel like it is a stat we can look at is fourth in points against.
Yeah. Y'all just gave up a Hail Mary to
But
fucking
Tyreek
Washington.
Stevenson does maybe the most immature thing I could think of in a game besides whenever what was his name? It was like I think it was Trey Wilson. No, not Trey Wilson. That's it was something on the Gators and they were playing LSU in a foggy game and they had a
And he
chance to
threw the
win and he
shoe.
threw the goddamn shoe and got the penalty for throwing his shoe 20 yards down the field is what the ref said. Um it you gotta finish the play. You gotta finish the game. You haven't won till that final whistle's blown. Tyreek decided in the middle of this setup for the Hail Mary, I'm gonna instead just taunt the fans in Washington, and obviously didn't work out. It touched off his hand last before it went right into the hands of a commander receiver behind them. And I think that just truly makes sense. He was going back and forth with Terry McLaurin all game long. Terry McLaurin was playing amazing. And it's just like he had no bragging rights in that game. Um, but for it to just go off his hand last and directly into the hands of Commander after he taunted, I think is just it shows everything. He says he's learned from the experience. The coaches say they've had a long talk with him, along with other members of the team. Um, Definitely needed with how young of a team we are. Little things like this, you don't expect that immature of a thing during a game, but being such a young team, you do expect levels of immaturity happening and everything. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on it. Bears, I think, are still a playoff contending team. They just have to figure it out on the road. Still haven't won a home or a road game this year. All 4 of their wins are at home. Um, or I guess they beat the Jaguars in London or whatever. Um, but technically that was a home game. Stupid, but they are losing every single game on the road and need to figure that out quickly because this week we are again on the road. This time in Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with DBs. You got Stevenson. I think that's who you said, right?
Yes, Tyreek is the guy that did that.
The fucking culprit. You got him.
Yeah.
You got him being a jackass, hyping up the crowd. You got Eddie Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens going back and forth with fans online because he's the one that dropped the game-winning pick. Yet he wants to get mad at people on social media for criticizing him. I just found that interesting. DBs, just defensive players, have just been on one this week
I feel like it's
lately.
typical for a defensive back. I
Yeah,
feel
but
like you have to be confident as a defensive back because at any point, I feel like you do have the biggest struggle in your one-on-one going against a wide receiver, because a wide receiver is able to get a lot quicker of a motion on you because they're running straight and forward. Your first steps as a cornerback are backwards. Um, I feel like you have to be confident in order to play that just like a quarterback. Um, so I do understand the cockiness, but it does need to be brought down to a reasonable level.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there's a point. There's a difference between being confident and just being a damn jackass. Both of them were just being a damn jackass this week.
Yeah.
So, um, still have love for them as players, but guys, tighten up. Come on now. But that's all I got for the Bears part of it. I don't know if I mentioned this. The Texans 3 games of hell. Did we talk about this on the pod?
The Texans 3 games of hell?
Yes, how they have 3 games in 10 days, and none of them
Oh yeah.
are favorable for them at all.
No, it's a rough time. And like I said to you, I feel like you just have to punt one of those games. Maybe let CJ Stroud sit, um, just to make sure he doesn't get hurt. Um, but no, 3 games, 10 days. I don't know why the hell NFL decided to book their schedule like this. I don't know how this happens, but it did, and yeah.
And let me just fill everyone in. The Texans at the middle of December have to play the Dolphins on December 15th, the Kansas City Chiefs December 21st, and then Christmas against the Baltimore Ravens. That is 3 games of hell. I wish them well.
Yeah, the only thing that's positive in that is none of those three are in your conference. Um, but or not conference, but your division. That's the best takeaway from that. I feel like if you have to punt a game, I feel like it's either got to be the middle game in the Chiefs or versing the Ravens. I feel like it's just you can't take a chance of your quarterback getting hurt, and you just kind of have to throw someone else out there. Um, I feel like if you do that though, you're gonna see a lot of the discourse that's happening right now with the Colts,
Oh
where
Lord.
Anthony Richardson benched himself on a third down play. Um, I will say the 3 plays before that were all Anthony Richardson runs. So yeah, you've got to be gassed. I understand that. Um, but as your team's quarterback, as your team's captain, you kind of just have to push through. Um, the coach of the Colts too said, "Yeah, he just ran the ball 3 times. I'm not planning for him to pass anyway." He said he was planning to keep it on the ground. Obviously, don't know if that was true, but Anthony
No,
Richardson,
it
I'm pretty
was
sure benched
it
himself.
was because the very next play was actually a run play. So it was.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you kind of have to just get through it if you're a quarterback. And I'm just worried if CJ Stroud, if they decide to do some load management for him, will somehow get that label, even though he is a proven quarterback in this league already after that first year. He's seeing some second year drawback. I feel like that happens with sophomore in any sport, but still the Texans are 6-3 with him this season.
I mean, that's just what happens once teams actually get film on you at the NFL level. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's like
at any professional level.
exactly. So second year slump is always a thing. Thankfully for him, it's not a horrendous second year slump. It's something he can definitely just look at and be like, okay, I can improve from here. I don't think if they take off any games, it might be that Dolphins game because that Ravens game is technically a Christmas game. I feel like the NFL would be pretty pissed to not have CJ versus Lamar in
That's
that
why I feel like
situation.
you got to take off the Chiefs game.
I
The
could see
Chiefs game
that.
happens 4 days before the Ravens game.
Yeah, okay. The Chiefs game does make more sense. Let me see. Who is their backup quarterback? David Mills?
Um, Crap.
Davis Mills. Okay.
Yeah.
Um He's 7 for 13 on the season, 79 yards. He's projected to be 13 for 25 on the whole season.
So he will play one more game, they project.
Maybe, yes.
That's the game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, praying for you Texans fans. That's gonna be a rough 3-game stretch.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you want to break down the Deontay Johnson trade. I don't know.
God damn, do the Carolina Panthers suck at trading?
Yeah,
God damn, are they bad?
yeah. Oh
Bro,
God.
it's like they're the Tampa Bay Rays, but in reverse. Every time they
Unfortunately,
make a trade, instead of fleecing the other team, they get fleeced.
they.
Deontay Johnson, your best wide receiver, your best target for any type of quarterback to throw to, you just trade him away for a fifth.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you
It
don't
really
only give
makes.
up Deontay Johnson, you also give them your sixth. So
I
for a fifth round, they get Deontay Johnson, a good wide receiver that's going to make Lamar Jackson a lot better, and a sixth round pick. That's just ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to understand, bro. I don't know what the thought process in Carolina is. Um,
I
you would
feel like
think
it's their owner.
no, it is. It is. It's just more so embarrassing because it's like what are we doing here? Like what's going on? Why are these choices being made? Like
Yeah,
I
it
I, I don't
yeah,
know.
it has to all go on the owner. I feel like it's well known in Carolina that even though they have a general manager, it's the owner that makes the moves. He says what he wants, and it better get done. Um, And yeah, that's how you end up with these bad trades because he rushes a GM, so a GM can't find good trades. He just has to move a guy. Um, so you see that with Deontay Johnson. You see that where the owner's like, I want Bryce Young. Do whatever it takes to get Bryce Young. You end up giving first and a lot more capital, but not only that, you give DJ Moore to the Bears. Brian Burns trade, I feel like I remember it being a really bad trade. Whenever they sent him to the Giants. Um, but it's just sell the team, man. Like if you're like, I feel like he could be a fine owner. He doesn't do too many controversial things. Besides, I think he threw water at a fan. Um, not a good thing. But if you just are an owner that stays behind closed doors and you just pay people to do an actual job that is their job, it ends up well. The Chiefs, I don't know who the owner is, and I feel like that's a good thing. Um, the Texans, I don't know who the owner is. I think that's a good thing. Those are organizations that make good moves. Meanwhile, you have like Jerry World. Everybody knows Jerry Jones. That team's never going to make a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones dies. Because he's just such a bad general manager. He's such a bad owner. He runs the place like a zoo. Um, and multiple former players have said that. If a current day player said that, they would immediately be cut off the team because how dare you say that about the star? But it's just owners deciding they want to be God. Um, and even going to another report, Jerry Reinsdorf has fucked over the Bulls. Jerry Reinsdorf has fucked over the Chicago White Sox because he decides he needs to make the moves, even though all of them have been wrong. The last time something went right for Jerry Reinsdorf is whenever he let his GM take over and do their job on the team, and you end up with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and get 6 championships. Um, just if you're an owner, sit back in your box and don't worry. Pay the right people to do their job and be a billionaire. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little weird when the owners want to be so front and center about things, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely agree heavy with the whole Jerry World part. Definitely agree
I
heavy
didn't
with that.
expect that to go into a deep rant for me, but it's just you see it in all these sports, and it's like it never ends well. I feel like the best case scenario is you are um a diehard for that team, like Cohen for the Mets. He's willing to spend every dollar he has to make the Mets good. He's made the wrong moves and they've hired some of the wrong guys, but he is willing to spend that money and throw it out to try and be the best they can be, instead of being stingy with their money. You also see that I'm trying
Ballmer,
to with and in the NBA with
Steve
what's
Ballmer.
the Clipper, yeah, Steve Ballmer. You just amazing arena they just built. Maybe the best arena in all of the world right now.
In my
Like a
opinion, I
closed
agree.
stadium and everything. Um, yeah, the team hasn't stacked up. It's not his fault. Kawhi Leonard is the most fragile man in basketball. I feel like if they've had Kawhi Leonard, if they've had Paul George healthy, they're a playoff team every single year. Paul George is gone now. I feel like you have to move on from Kawhi. Um, but now you got to rebuild. And I just hope Steve Ballmer accepts that rebuild and gives the Clippers fans and that arena what they deserve in a championship team. I want to see there be banners in that stadium because I think the Intuit Dome is so nice, and I think it's going to make Clippers fans care a lot more about their team and make them seem like less of a younger brother to the Lakers.
No, I agree. The Clippers desperately needed to separate. Arena is a great start. And to have probably the best arena, as you said, in sports, the best indoor arena, that's definitely one way of getting it done. That's definitely one way of making fans out of people who didn't care about you guys before, because they're like, wow, I want to go visit that arena. That looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, um,
Yeah.
we need more fans in sports. Like, I just want to shout out my favorite commentator, Eric Collins. He's the Charlotte Hornets announcer. That man is a true fan of the sport. And
Oh, diddly dee.
yowza. But yeah, we need just more people that genuinely have enthusiasm for their roles in their jobs. I definitely with that. We need more of that in sports, and I do like where we're sort of heading with that in terms of certain teams and organizations setting examples of like, hey, if you want something done the right way, this is how you do it.
Hmm.
But that's all I got for the NFL. Honestly, I didn't have too much.
Yeah, I feel like the only other thing to really talk about would be like favorite to win the Super Bowl. Mine is still the Detroit Lions. That hasn't changed at all. So that's just my take on it. Detroit has been on an absolute tear. Um, yeah.
I'm still with you as long as Jameson Williams or whatever his name is. He needs to stop being a jackass. That's all I have to say about that. But I'm still going with the Lions as my favorite to win it all as well.
Yeah, and Tuesday's the deadline. That's the last time you can make moves this season at the trade deadline. I expect the Detroit Lions to make some type of move. They don't really need it offensively, but defensively they could have used a little bit more help. Just to shore up that defense. It's a good defense, but just make it as good as it can be. With this being Detroit's first real like title run ever. Have they ever won a championship?
No, or didn't they? There's like 19. I'm gonna look it
Let's
up
see.
because I know they have something to do with like 1950s or something, but I don't. Okay, the last time they've won a championship was
No, they have 0 Super
1957.
Bowl wins. Oh, that's an AFL champ. That
Yeah,
doesn't
I
count.
don't know. Okay, I was gonna say, are we counting that? Because if that
Oh,
counts, then
hell no.
1957. If we're not counting that, then never.
Okay, yeah, they've never won a championship.
Yeah, the
Um,
closest they've ever been was last year, where they choked in that second half against the 49ers, unfortunately.
yeah. Um, Let's see. Uh,
I can.
yeah, the 2023 lost in the conference finals.
Mhm.
Last time they were in the conference finals was 1991 with Barry Sanders. So,
Good
yeah,
old
this is
Barry.
your time. This is your chance. You have to make those moves right now, I feel like.
Yeah, it's sort of like now or never. The way that this team is built, you know what I'm saying? They're built like a we have to get it done now
Yeah.
kind of
And that's
kind of
crazy to
team.
say with the one leading the helm being Jared Goff, but Jared Goff, listen, I think Jared Goff is really good in a specific system, and they run that system, and Jared Goff is moving it really well. Um, I'm never going to hate on a system quarterback because that just means they're doing their job. And I'm not going to hate on someone that's doing their job. Um, he's 14th right now in passing yards, but that doesn't matter. He's ninth in touchdowns. He's only thrown four interceptions. Fine. That's all you need to do. They're still winning games and have the best offense in the league doing it.
Yeah. As you said, there's nothing wrong with being a game manager, quarterback, a system,
I hate that.
a system quarterback, as long as it works and as long as you're getting the job done. I don't care if you hate it. That's literally what it is. You're managing the game. You're doing a good job of managing the game, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like saying game manager because like even if quote unquote you're a game manager, you still have to make those passes, you still have to make those plays, you still have to have the confidence to stand in a pocket whenever 300-pound men are running at you at full force. I feel like game manager just makes you sound like you're someone on the sideline calling plays. You're doing a lot more than that. That's why I like to say system quarterback a little bit more because you're running a system and everything like that. I just hate the word game manager for a quarterback because these quarterbacks still have to go out there and be able to run that system.
In my opinion, if you don't have to make extra plays, and if I'm trying to figure out the best way I can describe this.
I'm gonna drive to your house and slap you.
I'll slap you.
Fuck you.
Guys, we are ending the pod early.
Yeah, we must throw hands real quick.
We're throwing hands. But fine, whatever. I'll let you. I'll let you have it. I'm gonna move on to the next topic I have. Just real quick. We're touching on basketball. I don't have too much to say besides two things. Because I'm cutting out one thing. First of all, we're gonna touch on the sadder note first.
Oh,
Rest up, my guy Paulo, man. My dog
4 to 6 weeks.
My dog was having a great sophomore season, or no, third year, right? No,
Yes.
third year.
Last year's Wemby's freshman.
Yeah,
Or
okay,
freshman.
yeah. Fresh, yeah.
Third.
So he was having a great third year already. Starting off the season hot with a 50 ball, and then my man gets a torn oblique. So shout out Apollo. Hopefully he can come in later on in the season, finish out strong. But rest up easy. Hopefully the Magic do good without him.
Yeah, it's a sad note for this Magic team that, I mean, if you lose Paolo, whenever he got hurt, once again, small amount of games, he played 5, but he averaged 29 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists with 34% from 3. That's losing a lot. It's just, how do you replace that? Along with his like defense on top of that, he was averaging about a block and a steal a game. Um, just a team that was very promising, had a lot of high hopes for this season. Losing 4 to 6 weeks can change you from where I believe they were maybe a 4 seed, 5 seed to a play-in tournament team.
Yeah. Unless someone steps up massively, which I feel like the team can definitely step up, but no one's gonna fill that void.
Yeah,
But yeah, that could drastically turn around or drastically change a whole season. A month or two of basketball is a lot in terms of NBA time. So we'll see how long he's gonna be out for, and we'll see how the Magic do in the meantime. But back to something more lighthearted. Can we talk about how just horrible statues have become lately? Um,
Oh, that's not lighthearted. It's sad, bro.
e-
Not
uh,
like that D Wade statue. It's so bad that a college football team used it this week to try and distract a kicker from making a field goal.
I saw
It's
that.
such a bad statue. Like that's it's just not Dwayne Wade. And whenever you have an entire county, Wade County around there, you can't mess that up. You really can't.
I feel like whoever the NBA is hiring for these sculptures is they need to go find the guy that
Lynch
does. Yeah, they need to find the guy that does like the NFL Hall of
him up.
Fame bus, and they need him to do these statues instead, because bro, that D Wade statue is bad. In my
It's
opinion,
so bad.
the fucking Kobe statue was also bad. I think the D Wade statue is worse, but I don't
No,
know.
it's insane how bad that can be whenever a team's spending so much money on it too. You'd think they'd have some type of thing, but maybe it's a thing of them not wanting to spend as much money, cutting costs, and not making as great of a statue.
But the worst
It,
part is that it has to get approved. So D
yeah,
Wade approved this.
he didn't see it until the end.
I heard that he approved it. I heard elsewise or other. I heard differently.
I thought it
Sorry.
was just they approved the making of the statue. Um, as far as I know, I thought D Wade did not see it until it was unveiled.
Um, from what I heard, I hear that when you go to do these statues and stuff, that you have to meet with the person a couple times and stuff like that. So maybe it wasn't started yet. Maybe it
You could have seen
was.
like a replica of what it was meant to be.
Maybe, yeah, that does sound accurate. I'm not sure, but whoever approved it needs
Like,
to lose their job. I'm sorry, dog. That's horrible.
yeah, no, it's rough. Um, a better thing, did you see um Vince Carter's jersey retirement
Yes,
banner?
finally, finally.
That is, did you see what the banner looked like?
Yeah, it's definitely weird to not have a jersey up in the
I think it's
Raptors,
the best in the league.
but it is fire. They got Vince. In case you haven't seen it, they have Vince Carter doing his iconic between the legs dunk, hanging up nice and sturdy in the Raptors in Toronto. Um, honestly, I just love how Vince Carter is getting his flowers. With the Raptors city jersey basically being him with him as the Raptor, him getting his number retired, just everything. Shout out
Yeah, for a guy that
Vince
had
Carter.
such a rough ending to his time there, like
Mm-hmm.
they could have definitely just been like, screw you, Vince, you force your way out. Um, but no, they're doing the good thing of doing this.
Yeah. I'm just glad that, like, you know, he's getting his flowers now, not while it's like too late. I would like to see the same for a couple other guys. I want to see T Mac get his flowers. I think Orlando,
Dwight Howard.
or yeah, the Dwight Howard needs to get some flowers. I know that Memphis has already shown them some love, but they should just retire Zebo's jersey, Marc Gasol's jersey. At least if you're gonna like show some love to that grit and grind era, at least get those two. At least get the two big men's jersey
Good.
retired.
You need Mike Conley too.
Yeah, but Conley's still playing, which is the only reason why I'm leaving
Yeah.
off Conley right now. It's not totally weird or wrong for him to get his jersey retired at this point, because I mean Mike Conley is a legend for them. So I'm not opposed to it now, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like if you're gonna do something now, at least get those two since they've stopped playing for a little bit.
Yeah, I could see them doing just the grit and grind all together.
They should. Tony Allen needs some love in there too. Rudy Gay, who just recently retired.
Yeah.
That was sort of random. I didn't know
He
that he
played
was.
last season, didn't he?
I don't even know, bro. Like,
Pretty sure he
it,
did.
it, it just gets to a point with certain
Like he was on
like role player
the
guys.
Yeah, he was with Utah last season. Or no, I guess that's 2 seasons ago.
I think wasn't he on the Spurs recently, or am I going too far back
Spurs
in the
was
time?
in 2020, 21.
Okay, well, I don't know what team he was on, but shout out to our guy Rudy. Um, yeah, it's sort of getting sad, bro. A lot of the guys we grew up on are getting their jerseys retiring. It's a whole new era for real. Like it's just really sitting now, I guess. Honestly,
Yeah.
especially with like Vince's jersey retirement. That's just I don't know. It's just so weird because I grew up watching this man's YouTube videos of his dunk contest dunks like for hours on end, bro. I used to have like a mini hoop in my room trying to do the between the legs dunk on my door,
Mhm.
like just iconic, just iconic. Shout out Vince.
Was that in the honey dip?
Ooh, the honey dip, bro. Oh my god. Yo, speaking of dunkers, Jason Richardson, shout out to him because he took Vince's between the leg and he did the 360 with it. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting too caught up in my whole dunk contest memories. That's when the dunk contest was golden. Kids, if you're listening, watch any
Y'all
dunk
don't
contest.
understand.
Y'all don't understand. Watch any dunk contest from the year 2000 to like maybe 2010, and you'll understand why we used to love the fucking dunk contest on a week out basis.
This ain't my damn dunk contest that they're
Hell no.
doing nowadays.
Give me just the most random dunk contest dunk you can think of.
Bro, we got fucking G League guys in it. Like, no hate on Mac McClung, great dunker. But like, come on, a G League guy to have to fill out that fourth spot
Yeah,
is
it's
kind of wild to me.
well, it's also because everyone's soft. No
Yeah,
one
everybody
wants
just
no one
trying
wants
to
to
do
be
it.
yeah, no one wants to be embarrassed or blah blah blah. It's like, bro, y'all just have to have fun. Y'all make too much money to not have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a random dunk contest dunk. Gerald Wallace blowing out the candle, or
I
not,
was
or it wasn't Gerald Wallace. It was Gerald Green. Gerald Green.
Yeah, do you know that man only had like a half a finger?
Yeah, yeah. I actually found him on TikTok recently. He actually explained the story of how he lost his finger. Um,
Yeah, kind of
pretty
crazy.
pretty interesting. I'll quickly sum it up. So if you were a kid as a child, you know everyone likes to jump up and touch the top of the door frame. Well, when he was a kid, he did the same thing, but there was a nail in his door frame,
Yeah.
and his finger got caught, and yeah, and he's basically made
Got
that.
right?
Yeah, and he's basically made the NBA with 9 fingers and lasted like
9.5.
nine
You
nine
gotta
and a
include
half.
it.
Okay, a little nubby nub, but a solid NBA career. But yeah, that's all I got for NBA. Shout out Vince, rest up Paulo, and they need to redo D Wade statue. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Um, Now if you would like to take us on to your baseball conversation,
Yeah.
I know you have a lot. I don't have too much to say because I didn't get to watch the World Series, so I would like to dedicate this as the Kevin segment.
Yeah. First off, congratulations, Dodgers. Um, well fought, well deserved. Finally got over the hump. A lot of the players during like the talks and everything is are like everybody likes to rat on their 2020, calling it like a Mickey Trophy because of the COVID year. I mean, you still had to play those games and you still had to win them. Everybody had a chance to win it as well. I think it's a shortcut way out of your team not winning it, saying it's a like cheap trophy. It's a trophy. You were the best in your league. Even if it was a shortened season, everybody played the same amount of games. But this year they did it 162 games. Love to see Shohei getting it. Love to see Mookie getting another. Love to see Freddie getting another. Along with how well Walker Bueller played, closing out that World Series. It was just a big moment. All of it from once again Walker Bueller, who's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, and possibly having his career be over, to finishing off and throwing the last pitches in a World Series. It's just a beautiful moment. Um, it's a moment that's just very jaw-dropping to see. Um, but a lot of what I have to talk about really is their opponents, the Yankees. First off, I think it's an awful look for the Yankees to not ban that one fan for life that grabbed
Oh,
Mookie Betts' glove.
agreed. That
Um,
was ridiculous. That was
you
ridiculous, bro.
can't just grab a player. And for him and his friend both to grab Mookie, um, they can say whatever they want. They said they have to D up their spot. It's an out no matter what. No, everything you're doing is excessive and not reasonable. Um, there, it just very dumb. And for the Yankees to, they were going to allow that guy back in for the next game. The MLB had to step in and tell them, hey, no, actually, that guy's not fucking allowed in this game. Um, and for the Yankees to try and make up for it by sending I think it was a pediatric cancer patient. They gave them the tickets, but it's still no, that's bullshit. You're trying to cover up that what you did. Um, just dumb to me. Um, but speaking in terms of like the future of the Yankees now, um, they're kind of fucked. Um, Juan Soto, he's losing his contract. He doesn't have a contract coming into this next season. You're losing Tommy um, Canley, Tim Hill. You're losing. Just a lot of guys aren't going to be there next year. You just declined Anthony Rizzo's team option. Yeah, it was 17 million. That guy's a team leader. Um, it's a big guy to lose. Um, Gleyber Torres is a free agent. Alex Verdugo is a free agent. Clay Holmes a free agent. Jonathan Loaizaga a free agent. It's just you can't fix it. Um, there's nothing you can do. There's not enough money in the bank to save this team. Definitely with Juan Soto coming out saying he wants around 60 plus million a season, and I think he'll get that with how well he played this season. Um, you just can't do it. And then cherry on top, today Garrett Cole decided he's going to use his opt out, which the Yankees can reverse. But with that reversing, they have to add an extra 36 million to the end of his contract, adding another year to 2029, making him get paid till he is 39. Um, and that's just insane. Um, it's just what do you do? Your only guys under contract are Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole. Obviously, they're going to pick up that option. He'll be there. Carlos Rodon, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcus Stroman's there, DJ LeMahieu, Luis Trevino, and Luke Weaver. All of those guys are old. Um, cool. You have Anthony Volpe. Yeah, he's a great player. Um, Oswaldo Cabrera is there. He's 25, not exactly young, but whatever. Luis Gill finally showed a lot of the potential everybody's been hoping for. 26 years old. Um, but Jazz Chisholm is in his, I think next year's his either final year of arbitration or he has 2 more years, and it's going to go up. Nestor Cortez, you got to make your decision. Is he worth around 7, 8 million? And do your fans even want him back after he just allowed that grand slam to Freddie Freeman? With how rough New York fans are, and it's New York fans are the reason players don't want to go to New York. Um, it's the same as the Knicks. I don't know if you saw Anthony Edwards. Whenever they were in New York, fans were chanting for him to come to New York. And he said, I don't want to play for you guys. I'm going to have one bad game out of 82, and y'all are going to boo me off the court. Um, and it's just a very relevant thing in New York that you play bad and you get booed. And I understand that somewhat, but I feel like even with your stars, Aaron Judge goes on a like decline a bit and he gets booed. It's just lame to me. Like, you should cheer for your players. Do what the Phillies did for Trey Turner. The Phillies started cheering for Trey whenever he was on a drought. Went on to have one of the best like second halves of the season I've ever seen. Um, just why Yankee fans don't want to go there. Um, but then I want to hit a lot more on the Garrett Cole. Um,
I'm
He's
sorry.
33. What?
Real quick. I just want to add to that. New York is possibly the worst fan base in any sport. Doesn't matter what I've ever seen in my life. They are just disgusting and nasty. I don't give a fuck. I will die on that hill. Carry on about Garrett Cole.
Yeah, no, it's just a toxic fan base through and through. Um, and if you want your teams to be better as humans,
Like, bro,
honestly.
they're just so negative. Like you
Mhm.
said, Philly, the way they empowered Trey to get out of his slump and then go crazy whenever they actually needed him the most. That is what you need to do for your squads. You have to be behind your guys, bro. You gotta show
Yeah,
them that, hey, just because you're having a rough time, we aren't gonna make it worse for you. We're gonna help you get through it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I
It,
just gotta say that.
it really is like a thing. But with that, I looked up players that are Garrett Cole's current age. This last season, he was 33 pitching. So I looked up guys, and highlighted their age 33 year, and then wanted to look at their next few years. Because once again, he would be 39 whenever this contract ends. Um, this season, just looking at it, he threw 95 innings because of injuries. Never in his career has he thrown below. I'm not counting the COVID year, but beyond that, 116 was the lowest amount he's ever thrown. That was 2016. Whenever you're still finding his footing with the Pirates. Um, he had a higher WHIP than his career average this year. He had a lower ERA plus than he had this year. Um, did I already say he threw only 95? I did say he
Yep.
threw only 95 innings. It's just adding another year of 36 million to that is going to be rough. But then looking at players that similar age, 33 years old, Max Scherzer, and I used for this I didn't just choose random players. I looked at Baseball Reference. They have similarity scores and everything like that, and I looked at similarity scores over the career for players that age. So these four guys are guys that are very similar to him in terms of their career up to the age 33 season. Just to kind of look at different guys and be like, is this what we expect from Garrett Cole? And the best case scenario of the guys is Max Scherzer. So Max Scherzer in his age 33 season had the best, maybe the second best year of his entire career. Like I just said, Garrett Cole did not have that. Um, but um, he ended up second in Cy Young and everything at age 33. Continued on to the next season, had another great season. Cy Young season. Next season, he got hurt. Season after that is where he got traded to the Dodgers, had once again another Cy Young caliber season. But then after that, he had a good year with the Mets and then kind of fell off whenever he got traded to Texas. Had another very injury prone season with Texas this year. I don't think he'll be in the league next year just due to all of it. But that's him at age 39, giving only three more solid years. I guess you could say five more. But once again, that's best case scenario. And then a sharp decline for those final two seasons, which you'll still be paying him 36 million. The next option is David Price. David Price in his age 33 season threw 107 innings. Had a pretty rough year. After that, he didn't play the COVID year. He decided to opt out. But then his final two seasons in the league, absolutely like not good years. Like in terms of what you'd be paying Garrett Cole if he had these years. He became a bullpen arm. Um, you can't be paying a bullpen arm 36 million a year, sadly. Um, David Price, his final year of his career, had a 165 ERA plus, only threw 40 innings. You can't pay 36 million to someone to throw 40 innings. So David Price, a kind of good end to his career in terms of it, but he wasn't making 36 million at the end. He was making a lot lower. And once again, I'm comparing all of these to Garrett Cole and his possible future. Next, another old name, Roy Oswalt. age 36 season, had an average year. His final or his age 33 year with Philly, um, kind of comparable to Garrett Cole's. The next season, only threw 59 innings. Season after that, threw only 32 innings. Season after that, he was out of the league. Um, Johan Santana is next. Age 33 season, his worst of his career, and didn't play again. Um, it's just, do you add that extra year and 36 million? I feel like it's already expected. Garrett Cole probably was going to go probably bad in 26, if not 27. It just adds another year of paying a guy for doing nothing on your team. Um, I don't know. To me, it's a dumb move to accept it. It's a dumb move to not accept it. Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. And I think the Yankees are just in for hell. That's my final thought of the Yankees. They're just in for hell for the next 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm sorry, I dropped my phone.
Just die.
Yeah, I dropped my phone.
God damn.
Yeah, it's sort of tough to bounce back when you are going win now in the way they are too.
Yeah.
And they just sort of, as you said, they basically put themselves back for the next 5 to 6 years. We will see what happens in New York. It's gonna
I
be
don't think
very.
Juan Soto goes back.
Oh no, I think Soto's gone. I don't know where Soto goes. Maybe LA.
I have two opinions along with the Mets.
The Mets
Or
wouldn't be
that's not
bad.
counting the Mets. That's three opinions. The Mets are one because Steve Cohen's just willing to spend money. Um, the Dodgers would be next because, hey, pull a KD. You just lost to them. They're the best team in the world. Go there and play for them and win a championship.
Same thing as
Easiest
the
thing you can
Mets.
do.
Same thing as the Mets. They have the money with all the Dodgers investors to go out and
Yeah.
spend that. So
Um, I do have like I wanted to talk about the Dodgers, and then the third team that I'm thinking of is Baltimore. Um,
that's interesting.
and I
I
wanted to talk about their payrolls for the next like season and everything like that, what it's looking like. Because I just said how bad the Yankees looks. I want to just kind of say how good these teams look, and they're still able to add a Juan Soto to this.
all right. Let me hear it. I'm interested.
I feel like I'm just gonna start with the champions. Obviously, Otani's under contract for 9 more seasons. Tyler Glasnow, who when healthy was one of the top pitchers in baseball. He's still under the contract for 4 more seasons. Um, he has a player option. I don't see him declining it. He's probably not going to be good then, but he'll be there. Um, Yoshibu Yamamoto started picking it up a lot at the end of the season. He's under contract for the next 11 season. Mookie Betts, I don't know how much longer this is, but he's going to be under contract at least. I can only see until 2031. He'll be there until at least 2031. Freddie Freeman, he's there until 2027. Um, they have a club option on Chris Taylor, one of the best utility guys in the league. Will Smith is there until at least 2031. Max Muncy, who had a big turnaround this season, he'll be there next season, and he has a club option in 2026. Tommy Edman, who played amazing in the postseason, will be there next year. Player option for Clayton Kershaw, I don't see him declining it. Um, he's just a great team leader. I think he's an important guy to have in the dugout there for the Dodgers, like an Anthony Rizzo was to the Yankees. But he'll be there next year. On top of players that'll be making arbitration. Dustin May, if he can come back uninjured, he's an amazing player. Michael Kopech had a good season once he got traded. Broussard Gordia, Gratterall had a good season. Evan Phillips is a good player. Gavin Lux is a good player. And then players that are still on there before arbitration years. Bobby Miller is solid. Gavin Stone is solid. That's a like full roster. And they're set to compete, I want to say, until Freddie Freeman's contract ends in 2027. If you add Juan Soto to that, I think it goes until the end of Juan Soto and Shohei's contract. Um, it's just looking at the Dodgers books and then looking at the Yankees, it's just the tale of a fucked organization and a really good organization that takes care of their players, and their players want to be there because their fans actually appreciate and love them. Type of deal.
I agree. I'm with you
Um,
there.
and then yeah, the final team was just the Orioles. Zach Eflin will be there. I imagine Sir Anthony Dominguez will. Um, Felix Bautista will be there next year. Cedric Mullins will be arbitration. Jorge Mateo arbitration. Ryan Mountcastle arbitration. Keegan Aiken had a good season. Trevor Rogers, Ramon Urias, Dean Kramer, Adley Rutschman, Kyle Bradish, and then still on their kind of like rookie deals where they're able to be just renewable contracts. Gunnar Henderson, Yair Cano, Grayson Rodriguez, Jordan Westberg, Colton Cowser. Those are just not even all the names that are on this list. Those are just the highlights. And with that, they have an estimated payroll of 105, no, $86 million. They have tons of money to go spend on a Juan Soto deal, or other free agency moves with that. And Baltimore is looking great for the next few seasons. Because even with that, I don't think they counted the service time this year for Jackson Holiday, who's going to come up next season and be a full-time major league player. It's just so many organizations give Juan Soto a lot more in terms of championship caliber. It just depends, does he want money or championships on where he goes?
I agree. Those are pretty interesting landing spots. Um, I can see any of those three. Baltimore's the one that sort of threw me off, but I can definitely envision it. Um,
Yeah,
so
the owner's willing to spend money. They're that close to a championship, in my opinion.
yeah, so I guess we're gonna be on Soto watch this off season. Seems like.
I will not sleep until he signs a contract.
Oh, you better get some sleep, dog.
I will not.
Yeah, nah, you need to sleep. But
But that's all I have for baseball.
okay, all right. Then we are going to move on to our probably my favorite segment when it comes down to my players, but I hate picking your players because I'm really bad at it.
Mm.
But we're gonna try it. Let's see if I can do better this week. Let's start with our random athlete of the day.
All right. Would you like to go first with your athlete or me go first with mine?
Let me go with yours. I'm gonna figure it out this week. I got this week.
All right. We decided off camera we're gonna get three like hints, but we're gonna say like the sport first, so that way the other person at least knows the sport and doesn't have to waste a question on that.
Yeah.
Um, my guy is a football player.
Okay. Can I have a prominent team?
Saints.
Can I have a position?
Tight end.
Is it Jimmy Graham?
It's Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
He finally did it.
See,
You
I told.
bastard. Now I gotta try harder next week.
See, I told you I was gonna be better at it this time. All right. I also went with a football player.
Okay.
So let me know what hints you want. To be fair, though, let me clarify this. Okay, never mind. Let me not clarify this. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Give me team.
Would you like college or NFL?
Oh, NFL team.
Raiders.
Give me a what was their best season?
Oh fuck. Okay. Um, to be fair, I think their best season was actually in college. I'm not going to lie to you.
I want their best NFL season.
I'm working on it. I'm working
Better.
on it. Jesus. I was sort of unprepared for this one. I'm not going to lie. Ooh, okay. It's a toss up between 2010 and 2015, but I would say 2010.
Okay, 2010. And finally, I would like the college.
Arkansas.
So Arkansas, Darren McFadden.
Yes.
God damn.
I don't know what made me think of Darren McFadden recently, but
Bro, that Arkansas team was dangerous. It was Darren McFadden and who was the other running back? I know it was another.
dude, I forgot his name, but he was fucking nasty, bro. It was just like two power backs, just killing dudes back there. He was in the NFL and he was also good.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let me see if I can find out who it was.
But
Who's
yeah,
on these rosters?
honestly, when I was thinking of him, I was definitely thinking his college career compared to his NFL career. Just
Yeah.
because his college career was way better than what he did in the NFL, unfortunately.
Oh, it was him and Felix Jones.
Felix Jones. That's
Former
a
Cowboy,
throwback.
Former
Jet?
Pittsburgh Steeler for one season.
Wasn't he also a Jet, or am I thinking of another Jones?
No. You're thinking of the other Cowboy running back.
Who the fuck?
What was the other quarterback or running back? DeMarco Murray was the
No,
guy.
I wasn't thinking of DeMarco Murray.
Oh yeah, you're right. 'Cause he only played for Dallas, Philadelphia, and Tennessee.
Yeah, no. I wish there was a way to look at their all-time running backs, because they've had a lot of running backs in their career.
Who?
Dallas. Oh, I can go by yearly rusher. Julius Jones? Was it Julius Jones?
Julius Jones, a player.
Yeah, he was a running back. Nope, it wasn't him. I do remember him though. Felix Jones.
Is it Barber?
Nah. I used to love Marion Barber back in the day. Okay, you know what? Let me actually do this. Why am I not looking up New York Jets running backs?
So you're saying this player played for the Jets?
I feel like he did. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like this guy
You
did
got
play
me
for the
deep
Jets.
digging.
Yeah, bro. This has now turned into a deep dive. Thomas Jones. It was Thomas Jones. Okay.
Who the fuck is Thomas Jones?
He didn't play for the Jets. Bro, he was a Bears running back.
What?
Yes.
Let me see. Find a picture of this guy.
Bro, you really don't remember the name Thomas Jones?
Bro, he doesn't even have a picture on Football Reference. Nobody remembers this man.
Oh my god. Oh, wow. Okay, well, yeah, that was me showing my fucking age, I guess. Jesus Christ. Thomas Jones. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of when you said Felix Jones.
He had 2,000-yard rushing seasons with the Bears.
Yeah, he was.
But none of those he
right
reached over
before
10
Forte.
He kind of had like two good ones with the Jets.
I just remember.
Oh, it was with Forte. Yeah, you're right. It was with Forte.
Yeah.
So Forte is the only guy I knew. You think I deep dived into my second string running back whenever I was like 6?
You're. You should have.
No, I remember this. Oh my gosh, I clicked on their 2005 year. I remember having the Madden for this year because the running backs were Thomas Jones, and I remember as a kid I was baffled when I saw the name Adrian Peterson appear on my screen. Adrian Peterson is a former Bears running back that is not the good one.
This man.
And then Cedric Benson.
This
R.I.P.
man
Cedric
said. This man
Benson.
said, "You think I remember the running back when I was 6?"
How old was I actually? It was like
You were like 8, because
When
I,
did he
I
get-
I was like 8 when this man was
2004?
like relevant. Like 2006
no, I
is like the
literally was
Madden.
6.
Okay, no, I'm counting 2006 as a year that he was like relevant to me.
8 years old.
Me too. We were a bunch of 8-year-olds watching Thomas Jones tote the rock.
I was not watching.
Okay, I'm gonna just end it here because this is just too much Thomas Jones slander. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We will talk to you next time.
Peace.
Peace.